Hello and welcome to another episode of Barely Contained, the celebrity journalism podcast that's been playing behind closed doors long before it was fashionable. My name is Matt Withers and I'm once again joined at a safe social distance of 57,936 metres by Chris Beckett to appraise the cream of the crop of the UK's worldwide web-based celebrity journalism, including Olly Murs' prolific bulge, Chris Taylor's love confession, Katie Holmes' literal head turning, and Gemma Collins' lockdown phone audit. Let's go. Chris, how are you and how are you enjoying the gradual easing of lockdown restrictions?
Matt, I'm just peachy. Yeah, I mean, things are getting a bit better, aren't they?
Yeah. Have you been anywhere interesting?
No.
Nope, me neither. Let's crack on with some of the finest online showbiz journalism out there.
Amen to that.
Right, I'm starting on the Mirror Online, Chris. I've got a story here by the showbiz reporter Brogan Lee Hurst, as we've mentioned before. No relation, we think, to the They Think It's All Over comedian turned man of dubious political views. And this headline is, Olly Murs shows off his bulge in tight joggers on windswept walk.
Okay.
It begins. Olly Murs showed off his huge bulge in skin-tight joggers during a very windswept outing to his local farm shop in Essex.
Got everything, this story.
Olly Murs showed off his prolific bulge during a walk to his local farm shop in Essex. A prolific bulge.
Yes, I think we've both zeroed in on the same thing.
I don't think that Brogan Lee Hurst knows what prolific means.
Has it written a West End play or several West End plays?
It's just like, you know, his profuse bulge, his Stakhanovite bulge.
As far as I know as well, Mr. Murs has no children. So it couldn't even be prolific in that sense. Yeah,
exactly. You know, I mean, we won't dwell on that. But we
have. But
the Dance With Me Tonight hitmaker, 36, wore some incredibly tight pants on his outing, which highlighted his bulging manhood.
Oh, okay.
Is that a word we're using in 2020?
Bulging manhood.
Would the young people say manhood? Well, I mean, I'm guessing that Brogan Lee Hurst is a young person, so perhaps this is the kind of language that they're using on the old TikToks.
How do they know that it's his pants that are tight as well? It could be like his trousers, surely.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a moot point, obviously.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing. There is a picture of him here, very much NSFW. But I mean, it does look like his trousers because I mean, you can pretty much see what make and model his phone is from the way it's bulging out of them.
Rocket is Nokia.
He was papped making his way towards the shop in comfy sports attire, kitted out in Nike clothing. It's not a good advert for Nike, this, is it?
Not really.
The singer was caught off guard by a huge gust of wind as his hair appeared to be blowing in the snap.
That's just what wind does.
Yeah, it is pretty blowy. Olly seemed to have picked up the goods as he held a huge sack over his left shoulder while making his way back to the car.
A huge sack.
Well, do you remember the Viz character, Buster Gonad, the boy with unfeasibly large testicles?
I do, yeah.
He had to carry them around in a wheelbarrow. And I was reminded of this by the image of Olly having to hold his huge sack over his shoulder.
Do you think Brogan Lee Hurst was a big Viz subscriber?
I would imagine that was exactly the image that he stroke she, I'm not quite sure actually, Brogan, was seeking to convey. He goes on, underneath the picture of him, it's captioned, Olly's bulge was on full display. He looked super comfortable as he trekked across the car park in a bid to avoid the gale. Olly glanced over his shoulders a few times and appeared to pull faces on his trip to the shops.
Probably all the cameramen.
Well, I mean, surely his parents should have told him that in these conditions, if the wind changes, he'll stick like that.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He's been keeping safe at home with his girlfriend, Amelia Tank, during the lockdown.
I was just going to say, Matt, I looked up Amelia Tank.
Oh, do tell.
While preparing for this podcast. She's a fitness fanatic who works for a major bank and is nicknamed Tank the Bank. Carry on.
Of course she is. The couple have been keeping busy by making TikTok videos, with Olly often fooling around in the hilarious clips.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
In one viral video, Olly was seen swinging from the roof in their bedroom. Now that sounds awfully dark to me.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, yes.
He joked that his girlfriend was about to dump him as he performed some baffling gymnastics on his bed.
Yeah.
The singer and presenter posted a video on Instagram where he blasted music and let it all hang out. And what?
Yeah, okay.
He played air guitar, jumped on the bed and waved the covers around, revealing an unimpressed Amelia hiding under the covers. He wrote, "Think I'll be dumped by the end of self-isolation. #WakeUpWithMurs."
Possibly.
One delighted follower replied, "Good morning, Mr. Murs," with an eggplant emoji. "Put that winky away," ordered another. "My eyes don't know where to look," joked a third.
Eggplant? I'm wondering if Brogan Lee Hurst is a US-based reporter.
Well, I mean...
You'd say aubergine, wouldn't you?
I certainly would, but, I mean, Olly Murs is famously absolutely enormous stateside.
I thought that sentence was going somewhere else.
Ever since he appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. Of course, this ends. Do you have a story to sell? Get in touch with us at webcelebs@trinitymirror.com or call us direct 0207 29 33033.
Right, Matt. So I've also got a story from the Mirror, and it's written by Will Twigger. And the headline is, Love Island's Chris Taylor finally admits truth over Maura Higgins dating rumours.
Oh, finally!
Finally,
we can move on with our lives as much as the increasingly bewildering government regulations will allow us.
Chris and Maura starred on the same series of Love Island and were thought to have struck up a romance as lockdown measures eased. Love Island star Chris Taylor has finally addressed the rumours that he's found a romantic spark with co-star Maura Higgins. Yeah, sod the vaccine, this is the real content. The pair were thought to have struck up a romance as lockdown measures were eased and they were able to see more of each other. Both starring in Love Island 2019, Chris coupled up with Harley Brash and Maura with Curtis Pritchard. Whatever happened to Harley Brash?
Harley Brash. Sounds like a female wrestler.
Yeah, I was thinking that, or maybe like a character on like those animated Batman shows.
Oh yeah. Purple hair, definitely.
Yeah. Chris and Harley called it quits not long after the show, while Maura and Curtis dated for 8 months, confirming their split in March this year. Maura and Chris were recently spotted spending more time together and even performed TikTok videos together.
It's very much what my dad would deem courting, performing TikTok videos together these days, isn't it? It's like you've really hit a certain point in a relationship.
Yeah, once you're TikTok, that's it basically. It's like third base. A bunch of fans were convinced the two were an item, and Chris has now addressed the rumours after weeks of speculation. Maura previously denied the reports. Chatting to Vicky Patterson on her The Secret 2 podcast, he was asked if there was anything behind the rumours. No, Chris Bentley replied, no, we're not. Now, Matt, I thought I'd give you a bit of nominative determinism with the Metro's Katie Story, who's written a story about Katie Holmes.
It was always going to happen.
Headlines: Katie Holmes turns literal heads as she turns streets of New York into her very own catwalk. Katie Holmes was seen turning literal heads as she stepped out in New York.
And it's true, because the picture at the top quite clearly shows a man literally turning his literal head.
It shows one man, one head.
Yeah. And I think we should comment on his face mask wearing technique. He has one on, but it's kind of around the bottom of his chin and the top of his throat.
Yeah, it's not really going to protect him much.
Whereas Katie Holmes is displaying exemplary technique, I'd say.
Well, as we shall learn more of, yes. The actress, 41, headed out in the city, turning the streets of NYC into her very own catwalk, and her appearance didn't go unnoticed. In fact, one male passerby couldn't help but let his eyes follow Katie as she walked by while dressed to impress in a chic black mini dress and sandals. Well, she does look pretty incredible.
Stick to the facts.
Yeah, exactly. Stop commenting.
We don't need editorialising in this story. Separation of news and comment, please.
The Batman Begins star spruced up her look with a leather gold charm belt and sassy shades, and wore her hair up in a neat top knot. Sassy shades, eh?
I mean, I don't know. They just look, normal.
Yeah.
They're just black sunglasses like the Blues Brothers wore.
Taking precautions while heading out amidst the coronavirus pandemic, Katie was seen adhering to government advice and wearing a face mask to cover her nose and mouth. Proving you can be safe and still make it fashion, Katie's piece of protective equipment was a cute leaf print design.
I should say leave printed design. This isn't a vote leave embossed mask designed to make Nigel Farage even more money.
Yeah.
But the reporter appears not to know that there was a singular of leaves, and it's leaf.
Celebrities like Friends star Jennifer Aniston have been urging fans to wear their masks to protect themselves and others as lockdown restrictions begin to ease around the world. Jen pleaded with her followers to not turn something so simple as wearing a mask into a political debate after people suggested doing so violates their rights. She stressed, "I understand masks are inconvenient and uncomfortable, but don't you feel that it's worse that businesses are shutting down, jobs are being lost, healthcare workers are hitting absolute exhaustion, and so many lives have been taken by this virus because we aren't doing enough."
Could we be doing any more?
Oh, I see. I was going to say it's the one where she gets on her soapbox about PPE.
Oh, I tell you what, if it's topical Friends jokes, this is very much the podcast for you.
Hey, how you doing? Katie, meanwhile, had been meeting her teenage daughter Suri for dinner while out in New York on Wednesday. Back in April, while in lockdown, Katie celebrated Suri's 14th birthday. Taking to Instagram, Katie, who shares daughter Suri with ex Tom Cruise, posted a photo of a homemade happy birthday sign and gushed, "Happy birthday, sweetheart. I am so blessed to be your mom. May this year be incredible."
I mean, it has been literally incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, when people look back on 2020, they're going to say it's actually incredible. So, yeah, fair play, Katie.
Yeah, she's got what she wanted. She also spoke about her daughter in the April issue of In Style and praised Suri for being a strong personality. Katie said, "My biggest goal has always been to nurture her into her individuality, to make sure she is 100% herself and strong, confident and able, and to know it." What a load of shit. She came out very strong. She's always been a strong personality. She's very focused and a hard worker. Added to her skills at PowerPoint, Excel, a willingness to accept flexible working hours.
We were on a break.
Yes. No, it wasn't an appraisal. That was her talking to her daughter.
Final story of the day, Chris, is an update on, we like to call them the Taylor and Burton de Najor. We've not mentioned them for a little while. This is from the Daily Star Online. It's by Alicia Grimshaw, and it's headlined,
Really?
"Gemma Collins startled over bank statement after realising she pays for 6 phones."
Of course she does.
Gemma Collins decided to sort through her finances during lockdown, but was left reeling when she discovered she was splashing the cash on 6 phone contracts.
They should have got Martin Lewis on this one.
Yeah, I tell you what, I bet he's just got two empty tin cans and a piece of string, Lewis.
This would literally make him cry, this story.
He would. Oh, my word. I mean, I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, but you wouldn't want to go out for dinner with him, would you? Can you imagine what it's like with a bill at the end of the day?
Oh, I don't know. I think we have different views on this man. I think he's fine. Maybe a little serious.
Well, Gemma Collins has been splashing the cash on multiple phone contracts, and she didn't even realise. The Towie star, 39, who recently split from on-off boyfriend James Argent, has been using the spare time in lockdown to sit down and sort through her finances.
Right. I mean, I think we need to say to any future, reporter of any newspaper, you don't need to include the phrase when talking about these two recently split or just got back together or on off. I mean, it's like bloody Schrodinger's cat. They're constantly either together or split. It's just nonsense.
Constantly having to phone the news desk and go, I just need to tinker with a bit of that copy.
Yeah.
Has it gone to press yet?
Just annoying me.
However, the TV personality was left shocked when she realised we've established now, I think, that she's been paid for 6 separate phone contracts.
It needs saying.
Making light of her hefty bank statements, she joked that it could only happen to the GC.
Oh, of course. Very good.
Chatting on her BBC Sounds podcast, the former Towie star told, just says told, it's not an intransitive verb. I actually looked at my bank statement the other day. I don't normally do it, but I had time in lockdown. I've got 6 phones that I'm paying for that I didn't know I was paying for. So
she had time in lockdown as opposed to her, the rest of her time where she's doing so much rewarding stuff.
It's the first time that she's had the 20 seconds it takes to glance down one's bank statement. That could only happen to the GC. That's something that's on my to-do list to sort out.
I know you can't turn back the clock, but we must be able to stop the GC. She's not the GC.
Yeah.
She's not a brand.
I don't know. I feel that particular genie may be out of the bottle, I'm afraid. This BBC Sounds things, I don't really know what that is because the BBC's been very reticent in promoting the fact that so what that is, I haven't got a clue.
Yeah, who knows?
But her expensive phone bills haven't been the only thing that has left a Diva Forever star stumped this week.
Addition?
Chewing gum and walking at the same time. Gemma and Archie's on-off 7-year relationship came to a dramatic...
Not on-off.
a dramatic end when she decided to air the now-deleted breakup texts on Instagram.
Not a dramatic end.
No, we'll be back in 2 weeks. During their fiery exchange, things came to a head when Gemma refused to pay for both of them to go on holiday and moved the irked Arch, and what hasn't been added here is, but greatly pleased Martin Lewis.
Well, exactly.
Arch hit back, labelling her a hippo and the fat word I'm not going to say because I'd have to tick that box to get it into iTunes. But, while it remains unclear, their tense conversation was ignited. Very odd.
Is that a word missing there?
The Sun reported it was in part due to Arj allegedly wanting an open relationship.
Wow.
And that's
maybe if she spent less time with her 6 phones.
I'm just looking at a few of these links at the bottom of the story here. Why you should stop drinking £5 wine. Martin Lewis won't like that one.
No.
Anyway, I think that'll probably do for this edition, Chris.
Stop slating Martin Lewis. I'm gonna link him on Twitter. I'm gonna get him to listen to this.
I wouldn't do that because he once. I don't know if this is for now, but in my professional working life, I once wrote a piece that was about Martin Lewis to a certain extent, and I made the mistake of putting in a fact from Wikipedia, which he won the 2006 Jewish Comedian of the Year awards at the Hackney Empire. It turned out he didn't, and he got in contact and made his displeasure clear. So I won't be repeating that again. He emphatically did not. Did
you have to apologise in full?
I had to send
for all you Martin Lewis fans.
I had to send them a postal order.
Oh, that's a good way to finish things, I think.
Chris, if people wish to engage with the Barely Contained grant, or I like to refer to it as the BC.
Yeah.
If people want to engage with the BC, how should they go about doing that?
Yes, if they want to engage with the BC, they can go to Twitter at barely_pod or on Facebook, Barely Contain the Podcast. And yeah, we'll throw together some bonus tips.
Yeah, I mean, by we, I will, won't I?
I mean, you're the man with the technical skills.
Lovely. Always an absolute charm to do this, Chris. We'll do it again in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bye.
Bye.